Man down, it's an emergency. Well, it's not, but we were just floating here at anchor and it got me thinking, what would happen if Captain Damian went down and I had to get us off anchor? In this video, I'm going to show you all the steps to pull up safely and get us underway. Welcome back to the Rudder. My name's Brooke, and as you can see, we are at anchor and I'm on board our beautiful Merry Fisher 895 Antoinette. So it's not an emergency, but I was thinking, would I know all of the steps that I would have to go through if Damian was out of action? So the first thing not to do is to freak out like I did at the start of this video. So that's a big cross. So step by step, I thought it'd be really helpful to record a video of exactly what to do to turn on the batteries, to pull everything up, to pull our anchor up alone, which is not normally what we do. So in this video, it's going to be a step-by-step process of each of those aspects. Step one is to get power to the boat. So if you're floating at anchor, you'll have the starter batteries isolated. So we're going to come down and turn them on now. So you can see here that they're turned off, so flicking, and that will give us power to the engine. So obviously each boat setup is different. We've just had some new batteries put in and the setup slightly modified. So you just need to have a good understanding of how your boat operates. So that's what we'll be doing on our boat. The next thing we're going to do is turn the motors on. So if you can't get your motors turned on, you're not going anywhere. So we're going to do this next step now. Get them running and then make sure everything else around the boat is sorted and ready to move. So let's head up to the helm. All right, so I'm standing here at the helm, and if you don't get this step right, well, there's a major problem. So this is where you can get a few issues happening. So turning the key and waiting for the gauges to come on, and then once we've got two lights here, we are good to go. The next step is to press each of the buttons one at a time. And that's a wonderful sound to hear. And yeah, so you've got to be really happy when you hear that sound. Obviously, if it's an emergency, I won't quite be this calm, but it's a really great process to go through in a calm environment just to learn and try to reinforce exactly what to do. What happens if this step doesn't work? Well, there's a few things that could be the issue. So if you turn the key on and the monitors and the blue lights don't come on, there's an issue back at the battery. So we need to backtrack. Something's isolated or something's up there. So let's go have a look at what could be some potential problems back here. So a couple of things that might be the problem. So your batteries still might be isolated, or the anchor trip might have happened, and in which case you need to switch it from off to on. But we're all good in this scenario, so fantastic. So the last thing that might potentially be wrong, we're back at the helm, we've checked down there. If it still doesn't come on, if you turn the key on and the blue lights and the monitor does come on, but when you press each of the engine buttons and it still doesn't come on, it could potentially mean that you're not in neutral. So need to check to make sure that's the case. So again, we are all good to go. Now, the next thing we need to do is make sure everything around the boat is nice and secure, including fenders. Our tender, you can see, is out the back, and any potential stand-up paddleboard or towels and those sorts of things. So we need to go around and make sure everything is secure. I wouldn't be able to pull the tender up on my own, so what I would do is pull the tender in nice and close to make sure the rope doesn't get around the prop. So let's go do that now. So it's floating at the back. The worst thing that could happen is the ropes go around the prop. So I'm going to pull this up nice and close. Round to the side here. Just get the rope up out of the water. Again, this isn't ideal and you wouldn't want to do this all of the time, but in an emergency, this is a great option. Oh, leave that there. All right, so it's nice and close. None of the rope is floating in the water. There's no towels hanging around. We've got a couple of puppies here, which we'll move inside at the moment. We've got a couple of cushions that we don't want to blow away, so we'll pop these inside. The fenders are secured down the gunnel and we're pretty good. So the next thing is we actually have a snubber on the anchor. So I'm going to go up to the bow and pull that up now. So the anchor is still on the ground, we're still all safe, but we've just got the snubber on. Because I'm going to be a one-man show driving from the helm, I'm not going to be pulling the anchor up from here, but I do need to take the snubber off first. So we're just going to do that while the anchor is still on the ground. I would like to think I would do this calmly in an emergency. Not sure if that would be the case, but that's all right.
So just check that everything is clear for the anchor.
Okay, so that's the only protection that we've got on our anchor. Just checking that everything is clear and we can pull the anchor up. Now, one thing that's an issue if you own a Merry Fisher or a similar type of boat is you can't actually pull the anchor up while this hatch is down because the anchor hits the fiberglass. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the hatch up while I go down to the helm and retrieve the anchor from the helm station. Okay, let's go. So the anchor's still down. One final check. We've got one puppy inside, one puppy outside, and we've just got a towel here, so I'm just going to pop that down. Puppy goes inside, nice and secure. One last scan around, everything is nice and safe. Okay, so as I was mentioning before, it's not an easy task bringing the anchor up from the helm, but I can actually see when it's going to come towards the anchor locker and finish. This isn't what you would normally do. You would edge forward with the motor, but I don't want to drive over the anchor, so I'm actually going to let the windlass slowly move us up towards the anchor. So let's go slowly. I actually know how much anchor I've got out, so we're only in about 1 meter of water, which is handy. So I've only got about 7 meters of anchor chain out at the moment. So I know that I'm looking for some chain markers to come through. So there's the 5 meter there, almost off the bottom. Should be able to feel it just pull slightly. And all right, here we go. All right, and I can see, not ideal, but there we go. All right, so we are off the ground. I'm just going to quickly run up to the bow and put the hatch down. Great, we're not in high winds. Now you really don't want to take too long doing that step because we are floating and nudging it forward slowly. And we're in 0.5 of a meter of water, so I might just head towards this way. And scanning around us again very closely, and we're in not much water, and here we go, it's getting a bit deeper. So I hope you found that video useful, the step-by-step process of how to go about getting anchor up in an emergency. Please be kind with your comments. I'm a real amateur, but it's good to know that I know each step. If you like that video, please like and subscribe, and happy boating. We'll see you next time on the rudder.